Exclusive. Instagram versus reality. San Francisco unveils taxpayer-funded open-air Christmas market. It's become a dystopian hellhole after being besieged by the city's famed druggies. Well, at least that's what concerned residents living near the market have revealed to dailymail.com, with one property owner filming and posting to social media what she's described to be a horrible decline in the area. And this is about a mile away from the Tenderloin drug center that they just closed down. $22 million, 23,000 drug addicts there. I think 18 went into rehab. Yeah, numbers are not good. And so the city decided to close it down. Well, about a mile away, a 15-minute walk away from that, San Francisco spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of its taxpayers' money for this open-air Christmas thing. And this woman, who we're going to show the video, takes a video of it and points out, all right, so you got this weird Christmas scene going on, and all around it, you've got standard San Francisco, which is people doing drugs, people selling stolen goods, people smoking fentanyl, people boozing it up, people living on the sidewalk, just your standard fare. We're going to take a look at that footage in just 1 second, but also, if you follow this channel and you support what I do, check out reasonabletv.com. We've got videos that we can't post elsewhere that don't make the cut because, yeah, they're going to get flagged for one reason or another. We've got one here, California soft on crime policies. Got the P word in there. Yeah, couldn't put that elsewhere. We've also got my videos on Hunter Biden laptop from hell were censored. Talk about that. So we've got content there that you're not going to find elsewhere. It's $10 a month. Love to have you subscribe. That's kind of the road that we're going down because a lot of what we're doing elsewhere is getting censored and that's just no fun. And, crazy world we live in, right? Okay. So here is the Twitter video that this whole posting is kind of based around. Misery, drug abuse, overdosing, drug dealing, and Mayor's Winter Wanderland at Hallidie Plaza and Powell BART Station at downtown San Francisco. Who is this charade for? Who is this charade for? So we've got this nice Christmas scene. It's a little quirky. It's a little weird. But you're going to put something in downtown. You want to make it Christmas friendly, right? The problem is you're in the drug addicts' turf. You're in those selling the stolen goods to get their next fix of fentanyl. You're on their turf now. So you're going to have to kind of coincide with what's going on. And to me, although this footage looks bad, and to people from the outside, I looked at it and went, that's pretty clean. But I'm really jaded because I'm used to looking at footage from, Philadelphia, Kensington Avenue, here in Seattle. We've got some areas that are just gnarly. Portland, you got craziness going on. So, if you're not used to looking at West Coast stuff, there's a disparity between nice Christmas and fentanyl people living on the sidewalk, pooping, leaving their needles, which we're actually going to see. Let's roll the footage. Let's see what's going on. Here we go. All right, so what did we just see? We saw her clip shows a homeless person under a blanket just a few yards away from the Winter Wanderland market in the sunken Hallidie Plaza near City Hall. So you go down kind of the set of stairs or escalator to get down to this plaza, which is kind of sunken. Up above it, you've got people selling stolen goods, people selling drugs, somebody drinking out of a brown bottle. Yeah. You've got just a bunch of shenanigans, your standard shenanigans. You got a bunch of stuff on the sidewalk. You got somebody sleeping on the sidewalk. It wasn't terrible, but it's not it is terrible. It is terrible. But what I'm saying is it wasn't like there was 13 or 14 people. There weren't tents lining the sidewalk. If this was in Portland, you'd have tents lining that entire area and it would just be chaos. And Portland does not have anything like this that I'm aware of downtown, because it just wouldn't work out well. The camera then pans down the market itself where two people dressed as cuddly characters perform on a small stage. Our camerawoman then zooms off to the left and films a man swigging from what appears to be a bottle of brown liquor. As you do, the Winter Wanderland has been set up in Union Square in downtown San Francisco, just minutes from the now closed Tenderloin Linkage Center. It was set up to help addicts get clean, but DailyMail.com soon revealed widespread illegal drug use had been taking place. Well, in San Francisco, it's not illegal drug use, and that was basically a clean shoot-up center that we're talking about. We're talking about the Tenderloin. And the whole point is all of this stuff is in downtown San Francisco, and people have just kind of gotten used to it, I think. Hey, let's take little Johnny and Susie to the Christmas thing. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Those are a lot of the comments that I saw from you guys on a lot of the homeless clips coming around, during Christmas time was, yeah, I'd normally go to the Nutcracker in downtown, wherever downtown is in your community, but I'm not doing that this year. I don't want to leave my car in a parking garage and have it get broken into. I don't want to have to walk down the sidewalk and deal with this kind of stuff. I don't want to go downtown. I want to stay in the burbs where it's moderately safer, right? The footage filmed by the concerned mother of two is in stark contrast to the promotional material posted by the organizers of the holiday market on social media channels, who described the event as family friendly. Well, the event is family friendly. Let's just take a quick peek. Here's some photos of that. All right, so you got Winter Wanderland. You walk down this escalator and, it's great. But, no, yeah, here's the footage out of the woman's video where you've got a hypodermic needle with a bunch of stuff. You got multiple needles just kind of sitting around, but that's pretty normal, right? Downtown San Francisco. Then you cut to a nice scene where you've got reindeer and you got Frosty the Snowman and you got, Christmas stuff going on. So, the hypodermic needle is just, I don't know, is it 40 feet away from the stage that we're looking at here? And we got a dude that at least he's got a scarf on and he's got a sports coat on, but he is drinking some brown fluid out of a bottle. It's probably booze, right? And right behind him, you've got people on the sidewalk selling who knows what. Drugs, stolen good, meat. Here's that picture. Yeah, you just got the standard shenanigans going on. People just kind of standing around downtown, people walking up to them, saying something real quick. Maybe they do a deal, maybe they don't. Then they're just kind of walking away. You've got that going on. Meanwhile, right down the escalator, you've got this guy right here who's doing a magic show. He's got on, Christmas outfit. He's got the hat. He's going to do some magic and he's going to do some juggling, and it's live and family friendly. Well, with the exception of, the stuff going up on top. And you probably don't want to go there at night. That's a hard no-go. But it's Winter Wonderland. You're going to go and you're just going to have a great time. And you've got another character. You've got balloon twisting fun. And then you got, go up the escalator and you find those hypodermic needles. That's part of your Christmas, family fun time, right? Clean up the community. Give back, right? You got live family friendly, and you got there's like one family in there, and they're looking around going, hey, what's going on? Hey, what's the deal here? And what this mother is saying is, you've got this massive contrast of, we got a Christmas deal here, and we've got the reality of what's actually going on. And those two don't mesh. But they haven't meshed for a long, long time. And that's why you've got as many people not wanting to go back into the downtown core. San Francisco, doing some reading this weekend over the Christmas break, San Francisco's got some major, major issues with its downtown core. Like, people don't want to go there, along the lines of Portland as well. But the issue you've got in downtown San Francisco is you've got such a tech industry there, and folks they're refusing and they're basically working remotely. So that whole downtown core, without all the foot traffic and without all the workers coming back to the big buildings, it is having some troubles. It's having a hard time. Let's keep looking at the pictures. Then you got a nice family down there with the Christmas tree behind them. Hey, that's great. Then you got a homeless person in a wheelchair just on the sidewalk shooting up. So you got these massive, massive disparities. And it's because the downtown core in San Francisco, this is what it has become. And so anybody who knows that is either just like they're okay with it, or they're like this mom who says, hey, don't want to be down here with my kids. That's why I'm showing this footage. This is ridiculous. Shouldn't have to deal with this. No, we shouldn't. But with the way that San Francisco has gone, until you mandate people going into treatment, because this is a drug crisis. This is not a homeless crisis. You've got drug addicts who are bottoming out, and they're going to continue doing their drugs, and they need to be in that environment where they can get them super cheap. Maybe they're stealing stuff. Maybe they're boosting stuff. Who knows? Maybe they're selling their own body. Yeah, you've got that going on while you've got the Christmas Winter Wanderland at the same time. Yeah, not a good look, is it? Not a good look. Then we see some images of just, the usual chaos of people living on the streets, and it's just, that's not where people should be. And until we get a hold of the drug crisis, because this is driven by a drug crisis, let's be honest. This is not because people can't afford rent. This is way beyond that, way beyond that. And until government officials, and they won't, they're not going to address this for a long time, because then the optics are, well, then we got to do something about all these drug addicts running around. What do we do there? I don't know. Well, let's just call it a homeless crisis, and we'll build some housing, and we'll see how this goes. And maybe by the time, I'm out of office, this will quieten down just a little bit. Wild stuff, right? The insanity is what this mom is pointing out with her video. She's pointing out, these two things don't mix, and they don't. And that's why downtown cores that have had the homelessness and the drug issues, they're not doing great. They're not doing all that well. Portland, downtown Portland, one of the worst cities in the United States as far as its recovery since the pandemic. And that's because you got tents everywhere. Nobody wants to live by a tent. In the footage filmed by the concerned mother, viewers can see a person sleeping next to what appears to be a pile of clothes with used syringes scattered among the belongings. The video then speeds up to show their proximity to the plaza and the Winter Wanderland Holiday Village. It's right there. It's all on top of each other. The 25-second video finishes on a near-to-empty plaza with two people dressed up dancing on a stage, one wearing a snowman costume, the other a reindeer. It does seem, it's weird. Let's be honest. It's weird. We're just we're trying to pretend that the reality of the street, the reality of what's going on isn't happening. And we're just going to have a normal Christmas, just no matter what. Don't mind them. Don't mind the hypodermic needles on the middle of the sidewalk. Don't mind the human feces and the urine because, they let it loose because they're wildly addicted to drugs and they don't care. Don't mind the closed up storefronts. Don't mind the boarded up windows. Don't mind, piles of belongings on the street. Don't mind the dudes over in that corner selling stuff. They've got goods. Don't mind all of that because we're going to celebrate Christmas. Here you go. Here's your Christmas, San Francisco. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad, right? That's literally what this video shows. Promotional footage uploaded to social media by the organizer of the Winter Wanderland Holiday Village, however, tells a different, more polished version of events. Well, they're not going to pan the homeless dude passed out on the sidewalk in a sea of his own whatever human bodily fluids and various hypodermic needles strewn about. That's not really what they're going to show, are they? The video starts with the performer juggling, soundtracked by Christmas carols before panning to a group of children eagerly watching on. That says Christmas. Hypodermic needle on the sidewalk, not so much, not so much. So yeah, you've got this wild disparity. And guess what? Till you get a handle on the drug addiction, nothing's going to change because housing isn't going to solve this issue. Housing first, hard no-go. That's not going to really solve things. You got to get to the people. You got to start helping out the people that are just shooting themselves up bluey on the sidewalk. Those are the people that you need to reach out to. And until you can get those people into treatment involuntarily or whatever, even then, I mean, we got ourselves in a real pickle. These governments have got themselves in a real pickle because they've let this cat out of the bag. And this is a cat that I don't believe is easily put back. I know it's not easily put back in the bag, but we're going to watch San Francisco try. We're going to watch LA try. We're going to watch San Diego, Portland, Seattle, Philadelphia. We're going to watch all these cities try and wrap their heads around what they're going to do. Because what I'm seeing right now is, well, it's a housing problem. Housing's too expensive. But you take drug addicts off the street, put them into housing. Do they miraculously just clean themselves up? No, they don't. Still got the same drug addiction issues. And that's going to chase them around wherever they go. So until you get that issue squared away, and I don't think you're going to, you're going to have to make it more difficult for these folks to live that lifestyle. However you do that, well, then that's going to be your solution. Maybe it's doing the sweeps, but San Francisco, basically had a federal judge say, hey, you got to stop the sweeps. London Breed just wanted to keep sweeping, just wanted to keep going. And the judge basically said, nope, can't do that. Got to stop doing that. And it's like, oh my word. You got to do something here. You got to do something. But that's, it's 2020, almost 2023. And we're not doing a lot of much for anything. Along these lines, right? So the woman who took the footage, she said, I'm a property owner just above the Powell BART station, the Bay Area Rapid Transit. I've seen a horrible decline since March of 2020. It's a nightmare. It's all drugs. So you don't hear a lot of people saying, you know what? I want to help out that nice couple that's on the sidewalk living in a tent because, they're really trying hard. They've both got jobs. They're working jobs. They go to their work every day. You're not hearing that. You're hearing it's all drugs. What are we going to do? It's all drugs. But the local politicians, all the politicians, they want to ignore that and go to something that they can confront more head on, which is, it's got to be the housing. We need more affordable housing. We need more housing for these folks. These folks aren't going to go into that housing. They're not going to go into a situation where you've got rules. And if you don't have any rules on said housing, and you're just going to have a slightly different variation of what you've got on the streets, which is just chaos and mayhem. And that's what people are freaking out about. And they're like, I don't want to live here. I don't want to be here anymore. So the San Francisco resident said she had a true love-hate relationship with the city and was being forced to move due to the declining situation. Just finished a podcast, San Diego resident saying, all right, I want to get out of here because the homelessness issue, the drug addiction issue has gotten wildly out of control. But I've got this lease, this long-term lease. How do I get out of it? So I talk about that in a separate podcast. So check out that podcast. And a lot of it has to do with work with your landlord. Reach out to your landlord, explain your situation. And if they totally stonewall you, which they have every right to do, then you figure it out. Then you figure out what you're going to do. So I talk about that a lot in that podcast. But these are scenarios going on all over the United States right now because what was at one time a bad situation, like I said, has now gotten significantly worse. And we've also got shoplifting on top of this. We've got the black markets where people are selling all kinds of stuff. You've just got stolen goods. You don't have enough cops in a lot of these cities. It's just this real mess. And residents are at that point where they're like, you know what? I need to move. I want to move away from this. Maybe they've had their car broken into so many times. Maybe they've had their apartment broken into. Maybe their work has been broken into. Whatever. Maybe their favorite restaurant has been broken into. Whatever that might be. People are pulling back and they're wanting to know, all right, how do I make that happen? And I believe this woman here who posted this video, she's basically just drawing attention to the fact that San Francisco, downtown San Francisco, not friendly, not kid friendly, not family friendly. It's not what is being purported, but you wouldn't know that based on the PR that the city put out. We're reasonable here. We get it. You still got to market your couple $100,000 you spend of taxpayers' money on the Christmas show, right? You got to market it. Putting those pictures up, of the reality, nobody's going to go there. And that's what the mom is saying is, hey, maybe nobody should be going here because of all this craziness happening literally on top of this Christmas center. Those are my thoughts. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you soon. See you in the next one. Bye for now.